Hi, this is David Robert Boxley. For this video, I'd like to talk about transferring designs from basically where you've drawn your original sketch to whatever it is you're putting it on. Today, for example, I'm going to use this little skin drum that I'm making for a friend of mine's son. This is my process for most formline designs, whether it's going on a bentwood box, a panel, a drum. I will lay a piece of tracing paper over the piece to make sure that I've got it the size I need. I will sketch on kind of what I'm thinking of, and then I'll remove the piece of paper and refine my drawing. In this case, I'm doing this owl design. Once I've got it the way I want it, there's a couple ways to go about this. You can either draw it backwards, knowing that when you flip this tracing paper, it's going to be looking the other direction, or you'll have to just take the time to trace the back of the drawing you just did so that you can press transfer the graphite down onto the surface of whatever you're making. I do this because it allows me the freedom to go back and erase, change my mind, make other decisions for the design without pressing on, especially on wood surfaces, without pressing into the wood and then erasing and then having to go back and sand the piece. It just allows you the freedom to refine your design before you transfer it on to whatever it is you're making. The process is the same no matter what. A lot of times it just depends on how hard you got to push. So you want to use a rather soft pencil if you can for the side of the tracing paper that's going to sit on the piece for you to press transfer. And this drum has been sanded. I recommend doing that. Rawhide can be sanded. It'll take the paint better, and your design will transfer a bit better. And the paint won't drum off as quickly when it's used if you sand the surface. I use a 320 grit sandpaper. Just hand sand it. Don't use a power sander. So what I'm going to do is set this design back down onto the drum where I want it. I'm using masking tape to keep the paper on the drum. Goes all down so that it's held on there right where you want it. And then you can either take a pencil, any kind of pencil as long as it's hard, or even something like the end of a paintbrush, and press down over your lines, trace your lines, and that will press transfer the graphite down onto the surface that you're working on. So I'll be back in just a minute after I transfer this design to show you. Okay, so I've got this pressed, I think. As you go, you can peek every once in a while to see if your design is transferring. Usually what will happen, even if you've done your best to have good soft graphite on the side that's being pressed down, and you've really taken your time to draw over every line, not every line will always press just the way you wish it would, but this did pretty well. So what I'll do now is I'll go back over areas that didn't quite transfer the way I want and clean up some lines, and then it'll be ready to paint. It's more often that you'll absolutely need to go over bentwood boxes, red cedar, yellow cedar. You'll have to go over your lines again. If you've sanded your drum skin well, the graphite tends to transfer pretty well. This is an extra step you might feel, and obviously you don't have to go this way, but I do recommend it um, so that you have the ability to take some time with your design. Northwest Coast art is not something to be rushed through. The old people, you can tell from the objects in museum collections that they really took their time, and this was high art. So spending that extra time to refine a design before you transfer it to what you're working on will make your work better, and not just pumping it out. Not only will do better for you, but it's better for the art form altogether. That we push to get back to that high standard of the old pieces is important, and taking that time to refine a design will help in that process. Thanks for joining me.